Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the install of my Redline radar detector. Stay tuned for the install. I picked this up actually a couple of years ago when I was driving my Altima, and that car went fast. It was easy to go 70, 75 miles an hour, not even realize it. And we lived in Arkansas at the time and had long rural straight roads that you would be going 55 and then soon it would drop down 25. And speed limits are there for a reason, but those 25 mile an hour stretches in those small towns were just speed traps. And, I did my best to not speed through those, but it was also just nice knowing if there was a radar detector on me at that time, just so that I knew to be careful and slow down. Also, something that I like about this radar is it just tells me when police are around, especially if there's like an accident. Now that I'm living up in the mountains in Oregon, you can be coming around a corner and there's 3 police doing a recovery for an accident, and they'll have their radars on many times, and this will just let me know that there's a police presence, and it can just help me know when there's an accident nearby. Now, maybe that helps me sleep at night and justify spending this amount of money on a radar detector. But this has gotten me out of a ticket many times, and I'll go into more details on that. But today's install is for this radar detector. So this is an Escort radar detector. It's specifically the Redline 360. Few reasons I went with this. Sometimes I like to look at products and I'm like, well, do I want to spend a little money now, and then when I have more money saved up, get something better, and then end up spending, the amount twice for the cheaper version and then the more expensive? Or do I just want to go ahead and bite the bullet and buy the expensive thing now? I tend to be the person who just saves up and go ahead and buy the expensive thing, and then not have to worry about buying the cheaper one and working my way up. So this was, at least when I bought it a couple of years ago, the top of the line radar for Escort. Many different brands out there. I just really like the reviews on this. Mainly because when it's on, it tells you whether the radar is behind you, beside you, in front of you. It also picks up K-band, Ka-band, LiDAR, just really specific, and it's really easy to tell on the screen what kind of band it is. Most of the police around here use Ka-band, and so when I see Ka pop up on the screen, I know it's a police. A lot of times an X or a K will show up for doors, and it like automatic doors at a grocery store when you're passing by, and it learns as you go, and so it will program those automatic doors that you pass every day on your commute, and then it will just store it, and then it won't chime every single time, so it doesn't get annoying. Also, this has a low setting, a medium setting, and a high setting, and I have a low setting, and it really just sounds like a quiet chime or a doorbell in the background, loud enough that it raises your attention because you want it to if you're passing a police officer with their radar. A few things about this. Just really like the look of it. I mean, it is sleek looking. I mean, I've got it mounted in a specific way so that it's not really interfering with the window. I've got it mounted on a blend mount on the rear view mirror. And so again, that keeps it from being a suction cup on the window. Also, radar detectors are not illegal in the state of Oregon. I think they're pretty much legal in like 48 of the states. I can't remember. But you maybe don't want to have it just showing when maybe you are getting pulled over for some reason. Maybe it's not speeding. Maybe your headlights are not on, or I don't know. But what I really like about this blend mount is if I were to unplug this from the electricity, it is really easy to take this thing off and stow it away. So, if you get pulled over and the police officer says you were speeding, you're like, actually, I have a radar detector. No, you weren't. I know I wasn't. That's not a great look. So if you wanted to take this off and store it away, you could. Also, when I go into the city, Seattle, Portland, I may not want to have an expensive radar detector in view of people that like to smash windows. And so taking this off and just storing it away in the glove box is nice, and not having to unscrew anything. That just bolts right in there, or magnetizes right in there. There's a couple of ways you can get power to this. I chose the most non-intrusive way, but you could run power from maybe a outlet here, cigarette lighter, up here, but I don't like how it's not clean. I don't like how dirty that looks of just a cable coming down. I try really hard to hide cables and make sure that they're not just out and about. I mean, even when I'm trying to hardwire my phone, I like to hide the cable down here and around and not just have it dangling this. I mean, usually it's not there, but I don't like to have a lot of cables hanging places. Another way you could power this is running electricity or running cable through the panel, through the roof, and then down the A-pillar, and then down into your accessory service connector. That's one way to do it. What I did is I used a mirror tap, and I'll have the link down in the description, but I ran a mirror tap actually into the back of the mirror. Now this only works if you have a powered mirror. Maybe on the S version of the Frontier, it's not there. I don't know about the SV or SL, but I know in the Pro 4X, which what I have, we have the dimmable mirrors. You can also buy these mirrors and install them aftermarket. And so, again, this is a mirror tap kit. You can get it on Amazon. And what it is, it's actually specific for this radar. It has so it's not Ethernet, it's actually more like a phone jack. And what's nice is this cable, it's very short, runs up, and then there's multiple adapters that come with the kit. Both just require 2 cords, a red for power and then a black for ground. And again, that can just be plugged right in the back of the mirror. And then there's, at the end of these cables, there's 2 little copper ends. And so depending on which mirror you have and what size the holes are in the back of your mirror, you can use the different taps. So I think on the Frontier, it actually requires the smallest, I think, of the cords. And so these can be pretty fragile as you're sticking them in. All you're doing is sticking the red and the black copper ends right up against the cables that are already in there. So you don't really need to tap anything. You're not splicing any wires. You're just slipping those copper ends into the hole where existing wires are. The black cable is going to go into the back of the mirror with the black cable, the ground, for the mirror. The red for power is actually going to slip into the green cable that's in the back of the mirror. It's hard to see here, but there's a green cable that slips in that gives power. Now what that means is that's the ignition port on here. So what that means is when I open and close the door, it's not feeding any power to the radar detector. When I installed this in my Altima years ago, I had installed it, the red port or the red wire in the constant battery or just when you open the door kind of port. And so anytime I opened the door, this would come on, and I felt like it was draining my battery. Anytime I'd open my door a few times, wasn't that huge of a deal. But when I did this on the Frontier, I was like, I really only want it to work when I turn on the truck, so that it's not draining the battery, because we've got a lot of accessories and lights on this truck. Don't want to drain the battery any more than I need to. And so now when I turn on the truck, it will turn on the radar. So turning on the truck now. So you can see the screen there. May not be great because it may be LCD and blinking on your end. But again, doesn't power on until we turn the truck on. All you need to do is buy the radar detector. We've got the blend mount, and then we've got this wire tap kit. That's all we need if you're going to be able to plug into here. I believe Redline sells different power adapters for if you're going to go to the DC outlet, or if you're going to go down to the A-pillar, down to the accessory service connector. Cannot recommend this detector enough. It has saved me from a number of tickets. I also got pulled over once. I swore this thing did not go off. I think that the police officer just he was in front of me coming at me, and I think he just saw I was going fast and just turned around and just said, "Hey, I got you going fast." And I didn't know, but I didn't really fight it, but then I remembered that Redline will actually pay your tickets for you. So I don't know if it's just the first one. I don't know if it's just within a year of owning it, but I sent that ticket into Redline, and then they sent me a check for the cost of the ticket. My insurance went up like $1 a month. It was my first ticket I've had in a long time, so it wasn't that huge of a deal, but it just saved me from having to take off work and going to fight this thing and saying, hey, I had a radar detector, he didn't really clock me, or prove it. It was just nice that Redline did that for us, or Escort did that for us, and paid the ticket. So again, can't recommend this detector enough. I know there's other ones out there that people swear by. This is the first one I've had, but I'll post links to all the descriptions, or excuse me, all the places you can buy these 3 things. But again, it'll keep you from getting some tickets, and also just let you know when there's police coming up around the corner so that you can slow down if they're working on an accident. If this was a video that was beneficial to you, please feel free to like and subscribe, comment. I do my best to answer all the comments as they come in. If you've got some tips, or if you've got a radar detector you swear by and I should send this thing back, let me know. Thanks for watching.